Welcome everyone to my channel. This is Everything Happy Pearl. This is where I share with you different tips about marriage, single and married. Also share tips about fashion and style, cybersecurity, decorations, and different tips about cooking and lots more. In case you missed the cybersecurity edition on this channel, please click on this link to watch the video and also my first video on YouTube if you find it insightful, and if you know anyone that could benefit from the video, please do not hesitate to share. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you how to prepare yourself for marriage and also how to stay in marriage. So if you're single or you're married, I believe this video is going to be beneficial for you. The tips I'm going to be sharing with you today, I believe they should work for anyone when applied. And with my few years of experience in marriage, it's been 7 years now, to the glory of God, I can confidently share them with you. So people say, or some people say, no relationship is perfect, but I believe you can make your own work. Before you get into the marriage, there are some things you can do to prepare yourself. And while you are in marriage as well, there's still some things that you can do to make it work. So I'm going to be sharing that with us in a moment. I'm more than motivated to talk about these tips, especially in this present age and time. And in the course of this, my YouTube journey, I'm going to be bringing guests to talk about these things as well. So don't get me wrong, there are lots of toxic and also bitter marriages and relationships that I would not advise to stay. But that is not the talk of today. Today's topic is to talk about how to prepare singles for marriage, and also if you're in marriage, what are the things you need to keep checking, to stay in marriage. The tips I'm going to talk about, they're based on my experience that I feel I should share with you. You are free to filter whatever you want to filter, but most especially singles, you should be able to get one or two things. So my first tip is going to be good morals. While preparing yourself for marriage, there are so many things you need to check. You need to check yourself for good morals. And good morals is acting according to certain principles or rules. So there are different values of good morals, but I'm going to mention few, like having good manners, helping out at home, and also being a good friend to your friends, respecting elders, people that are older than you are, being honest with yourself and also to other people. Because if you are not faithful to yourself, you cannot be faithful to God, to your spouse, or any human being. So my next point is be open-minded. Make sure you learn, unlearn, and relearn. When you are open-minded, you'll be able to learn from experience of other people. Don't wait for your own experience, because some experiences are bitter and some experiences are bad. There are some things that people will not tell you about marriage until when you get married, then you start experiencing them. But if you learn from other people's experience, you'll be able to know and filter what you need to hold on to and what you need to trash. It's not everything that you have to hold on to, but trust me, from what is happening around you, a lot of things are happening. Life is full of experiences in the news, around us. When you talk to people at work, you see a lot happening. And if you are very, very attentive and also you are ready to learn, you'll be able to grab one or two things and also trash what you can trash, because it's not everything that you hold on to. So make sure that you learn from what people are going through, those that are ready to open up to you. And even without them, some people, without them opening up to you, you see yourself. Don't wait for your own experience in some situations, because you are free to make choices, but you're not free from the consequences of those choices. So you have to learn from other people to be able to guide your own path and also make right decisions and right choices. It is very, very essential to do self-preparation before getting into marriage. Take for example, you know someone that has been in undefined relationship for years, then you meet or connect with someone that says you are everything to him or her. The next question you should ask is, what are your plans for me? If the person can't define what he or she has for you, then the person might not be ready. You should be able to know who is ready for you. You should be able to know what you want, and before even getting into marriage. My next skill is social skills. And this is basic interaction, team building skill, respect, relationship management, conflict resolution, empathy, and lots more. When you have all these skills, if you don't have it, you can learn. But when you have all these skills, trust me, I still learn them day by day. You are already preparing yourself for marriage, and you're gonna live an easy life. Like, your life will be easier. So these are skills that you need to communicate and interact with people daily. Also, it will help in marriage, because without good communication in marriage, that marriage is nothing. So you have to communicate, you have to learn all these skills if you don't know it. And also, it could be verbal or non-verbal. Some people don't talk too much, but they talk through gestures or body language, and it's very good if you can do that and it's working for you. Keep it up. Next tip is emotional intelligence. This is very, very important. Nobody wants stress. Yes, trust me. Nobody wants stress. So you have to learn the ability. Sometimes it's grace, depending on your level with God. But you can learn it as well. It's a skill. So you just have to learn the ability to understand the use and also to manage your emotions in positive ways, to relate with people, to relieve stress, to communicate effectively, to overcome challenges, to be able to sense conflict. You are home with your spouse, even without your spouse talking, to be able to sense what is going on, or probably when your spouse says, oh, this is what is going on, and this, for you to be able to empathize, and not just condemn or judge, and to be able to analyze everything in a positive way, in a reasonable manner, and you have to learn it. Trust me, I still learn it, so it's not as if I'm already an expert. Don't get me wrong, or don't think, oh, she's perfect. Nobody's perfect. We're all working towards perfection. Okay, but glad to share all this with you, because it helps a lot. You have to all learn it. Even if you are married, you need to keep checking all these things. It's very, very important, because we all need it. I was listening to a preacher one day, and he said that the reason everybody pass, or majority pass exam, is because we study. The same thing applies to marriage as well. If you want your relationship or your marriage to work, you need to work on it. You need to put in some effort daily, not just anytime, or not just once in a month or after marriage then you relax. No, you have to keep working daily. Things that you used to do that it was working, you have to keep doing them, and you have to get better. Things that you are doing that is not working or that is not good for you, make sure you make amendments. Try and re-strategize. Sit down. Marriage is sweet, but at the same time it takes a lot of work. So if you are not married yet, don't be scared. Marriage is sweet, but you have to prepare yourself so you don't marry wrong. And to my next tip, That is to learn about finances. Yes, you have to be prudent with money, I tell you, because spending anyhow could ruin any marriage. Yes, so make sure that you spend less than you make or you earn, and know how to create budgets. Make sure you spend within your budget, set financial goals, and also make sure that budgeting and planning, you make it very important, and you need to invest. That cannot be underestimated. You are a helper to your spouse. If you don't have the ability to help, that is when the understanding comes in, okay? But if you can, don't spend lavishly. You have to be prudent with money. That money management. You need to be analytical about keeping your money, make sure that you have problem solving skills. You know how to add 1 + 1 to be 2, and have this multiplication skill. Like, for instance, you buy something that is worth $50 and it will look like it's $200. That skill is really good in marriage. Next on my list is domestic skills. This is also very important, and trust me, when you learn all these skills, it makes your life more easier and smooth. Examples are like cooking, knowing some handiwork, general cleanliness, self-care, all those things. They are basic things that you need to know. And also good food. Make sure you know how to put 1 or 2 together to make good food. It must taste good. The more you get used to all these things, the more you're doing it, the more they become part of you, and the more you know them. I know some people that work, go to school, they have kids, and their home still clean. What is your excuse? I know them, so it's not that I'm just saying it. If you don't know how to do it, if you don't have the ability, you can learn it. It's actually a skill. You can learn it. So all these things also matters. No spouse wants dirtiness. No spouse wants to adapt to dirtiness. The next tip is learn how to serve. Make yourself available for service. It could be at your place of work. It could be among friends, in the church. Just make sure that you make yourself available. Make sure that you are responsible. Don't run from responsibilities. It helps in marriage. You don't have to run away from responsibilities, because marriage comes with a lot of responsibilities. Both parties, you have to be responsible. This is also very vital. You need to learn how to pray. The prayer I'm talking about is not just prayer that you pray while you're walking or you are meditating. Know how to communicate with God. Prayers that move mountains. You know what I mean? So make sure you seek Him, because when you get to know God, you have encounters with God. And when you have encounters with God, there's nothing you cannot conquer. So make sure you seek Him. And in the Bible, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all other things will be added unto you. Matthew 6 verse 33. Every other thing will be added unto you. When you seek Him, your marriage will be successful. It will be at the center of your home. Your children will be successful. Every other thing will be added unto you. Make sure you know how to call upon God. That is very important. The next tip is working on your character. Make sure you work on your character. Don't wait until you get married before you discover yourself. There are a lot of discoveries when you get married, but at least do some basic discoveries before you get married. Know what you are capable of doing, know your strengths and your weaknesses, because when you know yourself, when you know who you are, that is when you'll be able to say, oh, I know who I want, I know what I want in my spouse. Make sure you work on your strengths to be a better person, and your weaknesses as well. There's nobody that doesn't have weaknesses. Make sure you work on the weaknesses so that you can be a better person. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe, and press the notification button. Also share with your friends and everyone. Till I see you in my next video, take care of yourselves. Bye.